Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get-together live here on Facebook, where we examine headlines from our city, our state, and our country. And we take a look at your comments, your ideas, and your suggestions to hopefully have a nice, connected life here in Puerto Vallarta as a community of English-speaking locals. And I'm smirking because of this comment by Gary Green. Yes, it is 11:30 in the morning somewhere. It is the third day in a row in which Facebook decides to be 1 hour late from me. And this morning I actually did some research, and it is so fascinating to me when everything's working fine and then all of a sudden some obscure setting gets changed somewhere and it produces this glitch. Long story short, apparently I have to go through this convoluted process of resetting the time clock in my computer, which has been fine, and logging out of Facebook and changing some settings here and there, which I will humbly attempt later on today. But in the meantime, know that Coffee and Headlines is always on at 10:30 in the morning local time. It is 10:33, so I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy that you are here. And today, as usual, we'll welcome everyone. We welcome those watching on YouTube later on today. We welcome those watching live for the first time. And if that is your case, please write the word new in your comment and we'll give you a nice little welcome. If there's something very important that you wish to bring up and share with everyone and you want a reaction on, please add a capital letter Q and we'll be so very happy to look at it during the comment section later on. Today, we have more news that are related to tourism, of course. We live in the city where tourism is important. And we also have some interesting shady news about cannabis reform and who gets the permits to profit from cannabis if and when it is legalized in Mexico and how those permits came to be. Not very legally, but are you surprised? I'm not. So, let's see what else we have. We have, well, we might as well get started and see what we have and take it from there. We have a few bits of news. Let me set this up. And here we go. For starters, it is Wednesday of Semana de Pascua or Easter week. And according to the Municipal Tourism Office, hotel occupancy will remain high between 85 and 90% here in Puerto Vallarta. And why when I say high, I mean a lot of people. I don't mean to imply that all the tourists are going to be high, although that could be fun if you ask me. Of course, while tourists are having fun, the work required to keep our city properly maintained is never ending, and SEAPAL, our favorite waterworks company, has announced another major street closure for this week. This time around, it is at Prisciliano Sanchez Avenue at the intersection with Avenida Mexico or Mexico Avenue, where the company will be installing a sewage water collector. So the middle lanes were closed yesterday. and they will remain closed through this Saturday. So if you're heading from, let's see, if you're getting from Sam's towards Pitillal, that is the road, Prisciliano Sanchez, where the repairs are taking place. Another project that is advancing at its very own pace is the enhancement of the northbound lateral road along Medina Asensio in the hotel zone. I could attest to this fact 2 days ago when I was heading to the pier to go on a boat ride. Indeed, northbound traffic is slow, and it is bound to remain slow until the work is completed. And when you take into account that the work will continue south until reaching the municipal stadium, you can rest assured that traffic issues will not dissipate in this part of town anytime soon. As hard to believe as it may sound, and according to Puerto Vallarta's Tourism Bureau, our city's international airport saw as many as 221,000 people come and go through the airport this past week alone. And that was a 17% increase when compared to the same period in the previous year. I just can't envision that many thousands of people going through the airport when you consider that Puerto Vallarta's population is close to 300,000. That means that over 2/3 of Puerto Vallarta's population, or the equivalent of it, came and went through the airport this past week. And moving on to shady national news, here in Puerto Vallarta, we often talk about the disgraceful construction permits that are usually snuck in for developers in the final days of any given local administration. This is not news. It happens every time we get a new mayor. Well, it also happens at federal level as well, apparently, as it has come to light that just a few days ago, before he ended his presidential term, former president of Mexico, Enrique Peña Nieto, granted the family of former president of Mexico, Vicente Fox, 63 special permits to commercialize products derived from cannabis. This, of course, would explain Vicente Fox's interest in the legalization of marijuana and the enormous cannabis-related billboards that have been seen around the country from time to time. We haven't reported this recently, but at some point I do remember that there were a lot of news about Vicente Fox sponsored marijuana-related billboards elsewhere in the country. So now Mexico President Andrés Manuel López Obrador is mindful of this, and he has announced that companies owned by the former president of Mexico, Vicente Fox, will be investigated for these questionable permits. Meanwhile, Vicente Fox, of course, denies the allegations and denies any wrongdoing. And that is our formal batch of news. Let us take a quick look at the weather and see what's going on out there. And the weather cuts to the chase by saying it's fucking springtime. Well, it is comfortable out there. It's 26 degrees right now. And humidity is at 40%, which is low. Our temperature in Fahrenheit degrees is 79. And our weather forecast for today says partly cloudy skies in the morning with clear skies in the afternoon and a high of 29 with a low of 17. Tomorrow, Thursday, mostly clear skies, but a few clouds may be wandering around with a high of 29 and a low of 17. And then Friday, we'll end the week with a partly cloudy sky, a high of 29 and a low of 16. And why is my nose stuffed this morning? I don't know. It could be allergies. Anyhow, I wonder if you have heard of cenotes. If you haven't heard of cenotes, I'm going to give you a quick and dirty on cenotes. A cenote is a natural pit or sinkhole resulting from the collapse of limestone bedrock that exposes groundwater. The regional term cenote is specifically associated with the Yucatan Peninsula here in Mexico, where cenotes were commonly used by the ancient Maya for water supplies. or sources of water, rather. And occasionally for sacrificial offerings as well. The word cenote itself comes from the Maya tzonotl, which means water deposit. And of course, visiting the state of Yucatan would not be complete without a swim or at least a visit to one of these unique natural formations. And why are we talking about this today? Well, making the rounds in the news cycle since yesterday afternoon is this family from the town of Unucma in the state of Yucatan, some 50 minutes away from the state's capital, Merida. Apparently, this family wanted to build a swimming pool in their backyard. And when they started digging, and much to their surprise, they realized that there was a cenote right under their property. Rather than keep it to themselves, they fixed it up and have opened it to the public so locals in this town can enjoy a refreshing splash in the crystal clear water at the tune of 20 pesos per person. Now, cenotes are not isolated things. Geologists estimate that the state of Yucatan alone has over 7,000 cenotes and that over half of them are yet to be discovered. Talk about a different plan for your backyard. This is the last reminder of Raíces, who are going to be performing tonight at Encanto. This is the folkloric group that we were so happy to meet a few weeks ago. And this will be their second and last live performance at Encanto. I caught wind of a fundraising event at Casa Karma that is also coming up where they will be performing. But this is a great opportunity to be up close and personal with these very talented musicians and to enjoy the Mexican traditional music they perform. And speaking of music, of course, I spent all of yesterday afternoon making sure that I fixed all the last minute details for my music appreciation presentation for tomorrow. What is a musical anyway? Somebody asked me not too long ago, what is it going to include or what is missing? And I said, I need to update some of the musical video examples because there's been new offerings out there. So we will not only look at the source of the musical, we will listen to and watch some great clips from different musicals and identify not only what it takes to compose a musical, but also the different types of songs that are commonly featured. And as long as we're there, we have unleashed the details for my next music appreciation presentation, which will be on Thursday, April 27, and it is titled "It Happened at the Piano." I happen to be a piano player, so it is my favorite musical instrument, and as such, It Happened at the Piano will feature literally things that happen at the piano, from memorable movie scenes to incredible compositions that we or may not know. We will dive into the history of the instrument. We will look at some unusual compositions that have been created for the piano. And of course, learn something new and spark our imagination through music. And the last one, of course, is also musically related, not very interesting to many, but interesting to some, hopefully. As you know, New York's Metropolitan Opera Company broadcasts their Saturday opera matinee performances live to theaters around the world, and the closest city to Puerto Vallarta that features these broadcasts is Guadalajara. There is an entire seasonal schedule, and the next opera that I've set my eyes on is Terence Blanchard's Champion, which premiered on Monday at the Met and will be broadcast live on Saturday, May 6th. This is less than a month away. This is a jazz-inflected work that tells the real-life story of a closeted boxer, Emil Griffith, who was haunted by guilt all his life when an opponent died after a fight. If you are intrigued about this opera, it's a brand new work. It was just premiered, and the New York Times has just published a review. And this, of course, brings us to our chit-chat section, which gives me the opportunity to see what's on your mind and what you're up to. Let's see what we have. Lots of good mornings, which we appreciate. Yes, many, many, many good mornings. Much appreciated. Den, oh, fantastic! Den and Kathy will be at the musical presentation tomorrow. I love it. I look forward to seeing you then. We have a new person that is new to live. Hello, Jeff John. New to live, flew out of airport Sunday, so crowded. Also, the peso is so much stronger than January 1922. Well, I would think so. The peso is definitely more stronger than last year. And of course, this is not necessarily good for some of us. It's not good for me because I earn all my income in US dollars. So, we have to adjust accordingly. Let's see. Oh, interesting. What a surprise. The powerful get more power. Same thing happened in LA with cannabis shops and permits. It's who you know. Well, again, I think it was smart of Vicente Fox, if indeed he is tied to these permits, to have the foresight to appreciate that in a few years, cannabis would be legalized. But there is something to be said about the legality or the process of obtaining those permits. And, it is what it is. And let's see. Michal says, oh, that opera sounds like one to see. Michal, if you want to hop on the bus with me, I'm going to do my damnedest to be in Guadalajara for this particular opera. Let's see what else we have. This is pretty much what we have. Let me, as long as we're still here, offer an update. No, we haven't walked in a while, and largely this is because I got a little behind with other commitments, and also because, to be honest, I've been avoiding the city during Semana Santa, but hopefully we will resume our walks throughout different neighborhoods right this coming week. And also, I wanted to let you know, as long as we're dealing with reminders, that our get-together, our next get-together for Coffee and Headlines will be this coming week. I don't think I have it scheduled to show. Oh, yes, we do. Here it is. We are going to be meeting at Whiskey Kitchen this coming Wednesday on April 19th. From 6 to 8, we will have special Mexican marimba music. If you remember, a few days ago, we encountered some musicians, and it'll be a lot of fun to feature them. We found them on the street, and I immediately went downstairs to meet them and arranged with Gina for them to perform live for us. Some traditional marimba music, and that should be a lot of fun. And this, my friends, brings us to the end of today's broadcast. The rest of the day is full of excitement for me because I need to wrap up the presentation for tomorrow. And, of course, looking forward to the weekend, and I hope you are too. Between now and the next time I see you, I thank you for your company. I thank you for your support. And I look forward to crossing paths with you again. Maybe tomorrow morning. So, have a good day, and I'll see you again soon.